We are turning our convoys back, and we're going back to field camps.
Seen here pausing for photos as he left the city, Prigozhin said Wagner soldiers would return to Ukraine.
So the biggest question out there right now is Prigozhin even going to be safe in Belarus? He exiled, all right, they struck the deal, all right, but is he going to be safe out there? There have been some dramatic set of events, almost overwhelming in the last 48 hours. A lot of things have happened. The Wagner group was all put in Ukraine doing their stuff. Literally out of nowhere, Prigozhin snapped and he made a declaration saying he's leaving post, he's returning towards Russia. Probably no one knew what he was up to. Was he going to enter Russia and counterattack the military? He kept everyone confused. He was advancing towards Moscow. He was a couple of hours away from the capital when one of his convoys struck and blown away. So obviously the instant reaction was, wow, they will attack us, right? So that was what he saw, and he stopped in his tracks. There was some quick negotiations with Lukashenko, the president of Belarus, a very close ally of Putin. He negotiated and brokered a deal between Prigozhin, the head of Wagner, and the Russian establishment. At this point, Putin was heavily pissed off with Prigozhin, right? Because of this whole set of events. One of the biggest things that ticked off Putin was without negotiations, without any dialogue, there was this snap. And this really baffles the entire news community. No one knows what happened, why Prigozhin, was he under stress? Did he snap? Was it PTSD? And out of nowhere, he decided to go back to Russia, unhappy with the military. He even indicated that he's going to teach the military a lesson in some shape or form. And then all of a sudden, just before he could reach Moscow, he stops. He takes a complete U-turn and declares that, okay, he gives up. People who didn't participate in this protest will be fine. They can join the Russian military, and he will quietly exile into Belarus. Prigozhin was never seen by the Russian people as traitor, right? They celebrated and they shook hands and, they seed him off. But the big question is now that they offset this situation, right? So this is a big embarrassment for Putin when this war goes on. There's a lot of advantages when situations like these happen. A lot of the Western media, the Western governments try to project this or use this news as if this is a loss for Putin. He's becoming weaker, etc. Far from truth in certain cases, right? All the news reports are not accurate. They will exaggerate stuff and try to present and portray things to their benefit to obviously sell their news. But nonetheless, this was an embarrassment for Putin. This comes immediately after. This whole episode really comes at the backdrop of the big bombshell that Russia released is the free citizenships right to people. Before, this meant if you participated in their military, they awarded you the citizenship. You at least had to do this for 6 months before you could apply for their citizenship. But in the latest set of events, Putin changed that. Now, no hostilities. You could directly sign up with the military to get the Russian citizenship. Now, I had covered that breakthrough. I was the first one to report on that, what this whole program was all about. Should you even take this seriously? Should anyone even consider this? Is this even good for anyone? And if you've missed that all-important coverage on the launch of the Russian passport program, which is very interesting, I would highly recommend you return and take a look at this video. This covers the entire breakthrough over the Russian passport program, offering free citizenships to people who signed up with Russia. And while we were trying to analyze what it really means, you have this big bombshell where Wagner suddenly, not Wagner, but the boss, Prigozhin of Wagner, snaps and he makes that dramatic switch of events. Now, the main question here, right, at play is he going to be safe in Belarus, in Lukashenko's territory? Again, a very, very controversial leader there, Lukashenko. A lot of disappearances have happened. He's a very close partner of Putin. They're really quite close allies. The fact that Prigozhin has lost a lot of his credibility by doing what he did. Shows his state of mind, lack of planning, lack of judgment by a key important leader in that position. Now, don't forget that the Wagner Group is not just within Russia, right? They are in different places. They're in Africa, they're in Central African Republic. CAR had announced passport program where you invested something in cryptocurrency and then they gave you citizenship. Now that program is currently paused. Again, I was the first one to launch or release the information on the CAR program. So the Wagner Group is all over. The point I'm trying to make here is his presence in different countries, the group's presence in different countries. So it's not only Russia specific. So one of the things that's going to go on in Prigozhin's mind is, should he really be exiling in the country that he has declared? Does he enter Belarus? Is he going to be safe over there after losing all this trust with Putin? This has a direct impact. Obviously, Lukashenko is going to look at this and going to think about this guy, and is he going to keep him safe? So that is the big question. It's a 50-50 situation the way it stands. We don't know what's going to happen, but this is one thing for sure to analyze is, if the Wagner chief is even in half senses, he should be aware of this threat and accordingly is obviously going to weigh his options. All depends upon how Lukashenko is looking at this and what steps he takes. So it's going to be very interesting to closely monitor this situation as it develops. Now, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, make sure to turn on the bell notification and subscribe so you don't miss out on important key updates as they happen. I try to cover all the dramatic events within the political domain, also launch of any new citizenship programs, residency programs. And in case you are interested, if you're new to this and if you are interested in learning what all countries sell their passports outright, then you can take a look at this video. This covers all the options. If you're interested in learning what are the countries that provide you a residency for free, which can then almost for free, nothing is free, right? So you got to pay for some paperwork and stuff like that, meaning no golden visa fees, no donations, all of that kind of stuff. You can take a look at this video. This talks about 3 critical residency permits that you can obtain for next to free and which can then lead to important citizenships in future. All right, I hope you liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, make sure you're subbed, and catch you in the next one.